Hi, everyone. Welcome to my new zoomcast series, Fintech and Philosophy, where we explore the personal motivations that drive the success behind Fintech's top C-suite executives. I'm Cindy Taylor, publisher of Digital Wealth News, America's leading source for news in the financial technology and digital wealth sectors. Today, I'm so thrilled to be joined by Stephen Stricklin, co-founder of Bright Portfolios and president and founder of Wise Wealth LLC, an independent full-service wealth management firm. Stephen is a successful author and founder of Simplify Your Retirement Educational Workshop. Stephen is also part of Ed Slott's elite IRA advisors. He has served as financial advisor counsel for the Insured Retirement Institute for several years and recently earned a national award. That's great. Congratulations.
Thank you.
The advisor to watch for being one of the fastest growing firms in the industry. Stephen's RIA firm, Bright Portfolios, builds and manages investment models following biblical principles. Each company is carefully selected to ensure they create value and provide a return for investors, which is what we want at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's get started. Stephen, thank you so much for joining us today on Fintech and Philosophy.
Cindy, I really appreciate it. This is a great opportunity. It's great to talk with you and to engage with your audience. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. We're excited to hear all about your personal journey into the digital wealth sector and how you got there. So let's just jump right into our questions. First of all, I want to hear a little bit about your role at both Bright Portfolios and Wise Wealth and what you do there. We know you're CEO and co-founder, but I really want to hear what your life is like there.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'll start with Wise Wealth. Wise Wealth is a firm that I started. It's an SEC registered investment advisor firm. I started it in 2007. An amazing year to go independent and start your own financial planning firm, but thankfully made it through our first few years in the industry. It was kind of rough to be on my own during that time, but made it through. So 2007, we just celebrated 15 years here at Wise Wealth. So as a firm, our focus is really on education. I tell everybody Wise Wealth is an education-based financial planning firm. It's in our name. It's in our DNA. Wise Wealth, first wisdom, then wealth. And so my background before I ever got into this industry was teaching. I used to be a high school teacher and a coach. And so I kind of brought that into financial planning, financial services. So we teach people, we educate people, we bring them on as clients. And so that's what I pretty much do on the day-to-day. So I'm in the field, I'm working with clients. And then over the years, we started hearing more about values-based investing, faith-based investing, clients that were looking for biblically responsible investing. So when I first started hearing about this, I'm a traditional financial planner. We're trying to find, models to put our clients into. One thing that's unique about our firm is I've never put myself out there as a portfolio manager. I don't build portfolios. I build relationships. So I look at my job, my role as a relationship person, and we're going to find a model. We're going to find an asset allocation model for our clients. And so I've always been a believer in using TAMPs, turnkey asset management programs. So we're going to find the model that fits best. At the time, now a few years ago, 5 or 6 years ago, there were no TAMPs, there were no biblically responsible investment models. And so we started looking at what's out there. The things I was looking at, either I had to build my own models, which I was not comfortable with, or there were a few models out there that I thought were just very expensive. And so I was not going to present it to my clients. So I had a dilemma. I really wanted to offer faith-based investing, biblically responsible investing, but there was nothing out there. So then that's when I came together with a partner. My partner is Ben Malik. He's a chartered financial analyst. I'm a certified financial planner. So I'm kind of in the field. He's kind of in the office on the computer. And both of us together created Bright Portfolios. So Ben's background is building portfolios. Mine is being with clients. So my role at Bright Portfolios ultimately is, hey, let's make this as easy to use. We want to eliminate any barriers to entry. We want people to get Bright Portfolios or biblically responsible investing easily and also inexpensively. So we created our portfolio so that if someone wants a portfolio made up of using our screens, which we may get into to build a biblical model portfolio, it's the same price as not using that. So it doesn't
Oh,
cost our clients any more, it doesn't cost anybody anymore to have an extra screening if that's what they're looking for than to get our
sure.
normal model. So that's where I came in.
Yeah.
My focus of the Bright portfolios is, hey, let's make sure it's easy to use, make sure it's inexpensive, and cost effective for our clients to be able to access and everybody to be able to access.
I actually like that. It's interesting that you mentioned the fee issue because my husband has also had funds over the years, and
Yeah,
fees can add up very quickly.
yeah.
And you
Sometimes
put a
you.
fee upon a fee
That's
upon a
right.
fee, and then the client
And,
has no return. So
right.
I do admire you for choosing to do it that way.
Exactly. And
That's
that's
really
the part,
cool.
that's the advantage of me being a part of Bright Portfolios because I am in the field talking to the clients and saying, hey, we can get this inexpensively. We can get these extra screens, extra levels of things that you're looking for without adding to the cost. And I always tell my clients in Bright Portfolios, we're looking for good returns. Good returns, like you just said, means more than just the rate of return. When we're talking about biblically responsible investing, we're talking about not just the rate of return you earn, which still should be good, but also feeling good about their things you're profiting from. And that's really the
Yeah.
difference with Bright Portfolios.
That's so cool. And I'm going to want to hear about the teacher role a
Oh,
little bit
yes.
later in our interview for
Yes.
sure. But for now, let's move on to our next question. So, we want you to tell us a little bit about you personally. Where do you currently live? Do you have a partner in life? Do you have children? Are they in school? Are they working? Where? Want to hear about your family
Yeah.
life and you.
Okay. Sure. Thank you. Yeah, I'm in the middle of all of that right now. So I am married. I've been married this year, this coming June, for 25 years. This will
Wow.
be our 25th
Congratulations.
anniversary. So looking forward
Oh,
to that here
cool.
in just a couple of months. Amazing. So 25 years, and we do have 4 kids.
Oh,
It's
wow.
interesting. My wife came from a family of all girls. She had all sisters. I came from a family of all boys. I had all brothers. We got married. 25 years of this, we have 4 kids. Of course, two of each, 2 boys, 2 girls,
There
and
you
we
go.
went right in that
Brady
order.
family.
Right, exactly. Boy, girl, boy, girl.
Yeah.
So they're
Oh,
kind of
that's
like
fun.
4 unique children there. But 2 of my kids are out of high school. My oldest son is out working and hopefully saving. My daughter, who just graduated from high school last year, she's going to be a hairdresser. She's in hairdressing school and working. And I still have 2 kids, son and daughter, that are ninth and seventh grade, still in
Cool.
school. So we got 2 graduated. We got 2 coming up here, and so it's a busy time. It's enjoyable, but yeah, married, 4 kids, and
Nice.
have a dog. We're living the dream. Basically, we've got the chocolate
Yeah.
lab, and
Yeah. Oh,
things are
beautiful.
going good. But we live in Lee Summit, Missouri, which is right
Okay.
outside of Kansas City, southeast
Yep.
side of Kansas
Hmm.
City. So we're considered part of the Kansas City metro area.
Yep.
Some people
I've
may have
been there.
heard of the Chiefs, the Super Bowl champion Chiefs, but yeah, that's the area that we live in here, outside of Kansas City, southeast KC,
The heart of America.
the heart of
Kansas City is
America.
the heart of America.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's so
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
yeah, thank
Great
you.
values there. I always loved to visit
Yeah,
Kansas City when I used to travel there many years
yeah.
ago.
Well, we have a
So,
brand new airport. They just opened it up this year, just last month. Brand new
oh,
airport.
I
So if you've
didn't
never
know
been to
that.
the Kansas City airport, it was always old, not much there. Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden, there's a lot to offer there. So
How fun. That's
yeah.
amazing. Well, tell us a little bit about where you were raised. Where did you go to college? And more importantly, this is a really important question. How did your upbringing and early years shape who you are now as an adult and as a business person?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, and I'll try to condense this because this one's a longer story.
2 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. I actually grew up in Rhode Island. My wife is from Massachusetts. I'm an East Coast guy, so I grew up in Rhode Island, but I had family in the Kansas City area. My parents had grown up in the Midwest. They ended up moving to Rhode Island when I was born, and so I grew up out there. But I was constantly coming out here. Long story short, I moved out to Kansas City in 2003, now 20 years ago, to go to grad
Okay.
school. I was going to a grad school out here.
Mhm.
When I got out here, that's really where I transitioned. I was a teacher in Rhode Island. And when I came to
Mhm.
Kansas City, I started selling insurance to teachers while I was going to
Oh,
grad
okay.
school. I kind of switched I'd always been interested in money and finance. So I worked for a teacher
Hmm.
insurance company. From there, I went to a brokerage firm. And from there, I was able to start, Wise Wealth. But
Oh,
my dad was actually a pastor of a church in Rhode Island. So I'm one of
oh,
these
okay.
kids. There's not, one of these weird kids. They call you a PK, which means a pastor's kid. So I was a
Oh,
PK.
I didn't know.
So I
Okay.
watched my dad, so I think some of the things that influenced me was certainly my dad was still, even though he was a pastor, he was still very wise with money. There's a lot of principles in the Bible about how to handle money and finances. And he
Right.
was very good at teaching on that, bringing in teachers on that subject. When I was young, I had four brothers. All of us inherited something when we turned about 13 years old. And all of us inherited a paper route. Okay. And so my dad taught us to work. Okay. So when you got to where you could get on a bike and deliver newspapers, all of us pretty much went down the line. We all delivered newspapers. So
We're both in the media industry then.
yeah, that's right. So what came along with the newspapers, delivering newspapers, was getting income. And what happened with getting income, my dad took us all when we were very young teenagers. I can remember going to credit unions, opening an account. My dad was always looking for what's the best possible interest rate he could get us. So even as a young kid, I knew that basically you've got to work when you get paid. You got to make sure you're saving. You got to try to make sure you're earning as much as possible. So I kind of had all these things, but I also saw, someone in my parents both that were, even though they weren't wealthy, they were still very generous, giving
Hmm.
with their time, giving with their money, those kinds of things.
Sure.
So I kind of learned generosity. I kind of learned hard work. I learned how to save and invest all from that environment. So when I moved to Kansas City, was able to get into this industry. I think those are the things that really shaped me.
Oh, I think that's so cool. That makes total sense now as to how you came
Yeah,
about to, building this
yeah,
firm. And
yeah.
there's always a backstory. And that's what I think
Yes,
is missing from a lot of these interviews where how did you
yeah,
get there? So
yeah. That's
that's a
right.
really cool story. Thank you for sharing that with
Sure.
us. Now, do you have any personal passion projects or outside activities? Could be fun, recreation, purpose driven, whatever, that help
Yeah.
shape who you are.
Yeah, I think, people will resonate with this when you know that I grew up in Rhode Island. I moved to Kansas City. When I first moved to Kansas City 20 years ago, I felt claustrophobic. I mean, there's no water.
Hmm.
Okay. So
Oh,
I
fair.
grew up in
Yeah.
the East Coast. I grew up being able to see the ocean. All of a sudden, I felt
Yeah.
like I am landlocked. So what I really enjoy doing is I go into in any water. So if I can get to the lake,
Okay.
there's an awesome lake down in Branson, Missouri, we like to go to, which is
Yeah.
pretty close. We like
Okay.
to go to Florida. We go back to New England. My wife's family's there. I have family still there, and so from a personal standpoint, we do like to travel. I would say most of
Mhm.
my travel involves water or a boat in some way,
Got it.
just because
Nice.
that's kind of my background, the ocean. I don't go
Yeah.
to the mountains per se. I like going to the
Yeah.
mountains sometimes, but we prefer the water.
Well, we get a
That's
lot of
one
snow
thing.
up here in the mountains.
Yeah, that's right. Montana's
Yeah.
beautiful. We did go there. We went to Yellowstone from Gardner,
Mhm.
Montana, so an awesome area. So the other things I'm involved with is missions. So one thing that's important to me, there's missions organizations, there's people that go around the world spreading the good news of Jesus, giving the gospel. And so that's something that's always very near and dear. I live here, I can't always go there, but I can give and help
Mhm.
support some of these people that are doing those things. So that's very important to me. One other thing is I'm definitely involved in some boards. I sit on some boards where they're involved in, widows and orphans and helping,
Okay.
people around the country doing those kinds of things, but also helping start new churches in areas where there's not and those kinds of things. So I'm able to be involved in giving. I'm able to be involved in serving on these boards, but also enjoying life and doing some of these
That's
activities and
cool.
traveling.
I like
Yeah,
that. That's a nice combination.
yeah. Thank you.
How do all these items that you've just shared with us impact your role today with Bright Portfolio and Wise Wealth? Bright
Uh,
Portfolios. I apologize.
yeah,
For,
no, that's all right.
yeah.
So I look at those things really all as a natural extension. So when we look at people that we're trying to help, Who do we want to benefit, from our services at Wise Wealth? Who do we think would benefit from, the portfolios at Bright Portfolios? And what's the end result? Sometimes as a financial planner, we're helping people become, financially free, financially independent, financially be able to be able to retire and make work optional, all those things. And that's in some ways that is gratifying. But to me, what's more gratifying is when we help people retire with a purpose and don't just retire, do something. In other words, be free to give and to serve and to enjoy life. So our mission at our firm is to help people do that. If we want to help people get free as soon as possible, if that's the goal. If that's why you want to do it. If you want to just become wealthy and become selfish and do nothing and sit around, that's fine. We're going to help you, but we'd rather help you get to a place where you're still on a mission after you're done with your 9 to 5, after you're done with your 40-hour work week, that you're still, have a purpose for living. That's the kind of people we want to help. It's also the kind of people we want to attract. So the people that work for my firm, the people that work at Bright Portfolios, we want them to be able to do these things. So we want to give them opportunities. I want every single person who works under my firm to be involved in giving, serving, and enjoying life, and give them the freedom to do that. We want to do it as a firm. Bright Portfolios is involved in giving and serving and enjoy life, and same thing with Wise Wealth. So it kind of is just like it permeates everything that we do. It's our values. It's what we want to help people get to. So kind of everything that I am and who I am is what we're trying to promote to our clients, to our firm, things like that.
Love it. It all comes full circle. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
so our last question for our interview today is, if you were to select one phrase or one motto that you live your life by, what would that phrase be and why?
Okay. I would use the hashtag GSEL. So if you come into our office, if you walk out of our conference room, we have in huge letters on the wall, hashtag GSEL. And underneath that, it says, give, serve, enjoy life. So we want our clients to see it. We put pictures up on the wall. So if our clients are involved in giving to something, we want to know about that, and maybe we're going to participate, and we'll put pictures on the wall. If our clients are involved in serving in a nonprofit or serving somewhere in food shelter or anything like that, we want to know about it. We want to be involved in that. So even twice a year, our firm has a service project. We want to create the opportunity for our clients to be able to do this. If they don't know, I do want to serve, but I don't know how to do it. So our firm will create an opportunity to say, here's our service project this half of the year. Anybody that wants to be involved in that, and certainly enjoy life. We have retirement parties for our clients. We ask them to send us pictures of trips that they go on, because this is the thing. So I would say the phrase that tells everyone who I am, tells everybody who Bright Portfolios is, who Wise Wealth is. It's hashtag GSEL, give, serve, enjoy life.
Beautiful. I love it. I love it. Well, Stephen, that wraps up our conversation for today. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. We so enjoyed it, and it's really a fun, cool story.
I appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. And thanks to our audience for joining us today as well. And make sure to check out the next slides for links to Bright Portfolios and Digital Wealth News. Until we meet again, cheers from the last best place, Bozeman, Montana. Bye for now.